Sith Lords. You may notice I've had a change of wardrobe. Tyrant's probably gonna hate me for doing this when he gets on in chat, but I decided to equip the grey Jedi robes as cosmetically they're probably my favourite looking robes in the game. I love the look of these robes, so I just can't help but wear them. Even though I know the robes I was wearing were better for my stats, but I think the upgraded Mitra Surik crystal that I got from Kreia off stream is going to cover that. As usual, I'm going to start by checking in with companions.
My life. I am prepared for whatever you...
Just doing some teaching.
I understand. My life.
Just give everyone beast trick. Let's torture everyone.
Yes, General.
Beast
You
trick.
think they'll help? You know,
Everyone must know the beast trick. Except for you, because for some reason you won't learn.
Yes?
No other disciple will learn. I know Tyrant gave me the mod to do that, but I don't feel like going into it too much. I'll probably talk to Mandalore once I've gathered all the clans. Just want to teach everyone real quick. The main two I want to talk to are HK and Kreia. Once I'm done with them, I'll go gather the clans, then I'll talk to Canderous. And hopefully by then Tyrant will be with us. Because I need his guidance to do it, because this is the first time I've ever done save editing, and also the first time, thanks to save editing, I've done Canderous' full dialogue tree, so I'll lead him for that.
Yeah, something wrong?
Techniques.
Yeah. I'll ignore that little...
Also, Tiffy should have something for us there.
Something up?
Techniques.
Alright,
Let's see if T3 will have something to say. He might do. He normally does when we get Canderous. T3, do you know Mandalore? I have Tyrant, but I haven't had time to install them yet. So I'm not worrying too much about it for now. I'll get them installed by. I'll more than likely get them installed for Thursday though. You're just in time to see me do the T3 conversation about Canderous, so good timing. Hopefully everything you told me on Discord went well after you told me about them. Once. What happened? Of course I'd like to know. Okay, cool. I'm hoping you'll still be around for the Canderous stuff, because that is where I might need your help, because this will be the first time I've ever done Canderous' full influence tree in this game. He was left behind? By who? His master? and your master, but why? Yes, I know. Yes, I want to see the whole recording. Do you know what they said? I don't understand. It looked like Revan needed Canderous. And so Canderous left and returned to the Duxon Moon and started to gather his clan. Why did you show me this? Thank you, T3. I appreciate the trust. Why does he recognize you then? Recognize you. That was not a deliberate English screw up. I've been accidentally practicing my fake English screw ups in preparation for my potential Elder Scrolls character should we play that roleplay system or homebrew 5e system that wants to cook up. I know it's a ways off. Okay. Yeah, but not every droid is the same. Well, maybe they are to a Mandalorian. I'm just making an observation. I can tell you apart from other droids, well, most of them. I'll be going. That conversation done. Next conversation. Let's go with HK because we've got one more influence opportunity thing with him to get through.
Query: is there someone that you need killed, Master?
Nah, just want to answer some questions. No, I don't want to answer them, I want to ask them. What am I saying?
Statement. Ah, more questions. Wonderful.
I would like to know how you killed Jedi. You know, just to protect myself and, you know, self-preservation reasons.
Request. First, Master, I would appreciate it if Jedi need to be killed, that you permit me to kill those annoying pseudo-pacifists for you. But if you are determined to do it yourself, then there are many techniques I would suggest.
Like what?
Recitation. First, weapon selection is critical. If I see one more idiot attacking a Jedi with a blaster pistol, then I'll kill them myself.
What weapons would you suggest in that case?
Answer. Select grenades, sonic screamers, cluster rockets, and plasma charges. Mines are also effective, since many Jedi will run to meet you in hand-to-hand combat. Silly Jedi. Addendum. Gas attacks are effective if you can take the Jedi by surprise. Inhalation is less effective than ones that work on skin contact, as some Jedi seem to be able to hold their breath for long periods of time. Cautionary. Still, don't rely on it, since Jedi can fight off the effects. It just distracts them, leaving them open to another avenue of attack.
Any defenses you would recommend?
Recitation. Do not forget to activate any energy shields you possess. Lightsabers, while powerful, have trouble penetrating most military-issue energy shields, provided they are energy shields and not those crude Mandalorian melee shields.
What about countering the Force? Do you have any suggestions for that?
Answer. Countering their other powers is more difficult. Confession. I do not fully understand their other abilities, but I do know that many of them require that the Jedi know that you are there and can see you. Thus, sniping and using cover are always advantageous.
Anything else you'd recommend?
Evaluation. A technique that Revan used frequently was to attack a Jedi indirectly. This method only works if the Jedi is adhering to the self-destructive path of pacifism and sacrifice.
What do you mean by that?
Answer. Kill their allies or place them in jeopardy. Many Jedi will leave themselves exposed in order to protect another. That is why there are many less Jedi than there were a decade ago.
You seem to be very thorough about this.
Cautionary. Oh no, Master. In fact, that is the worst thing you can do. Explanation. Statistically, over-planning the assassination of a Jedi seems to backfire. Extrapolation. There are many theorists who claim Jedi can see the future, and I do not know if that is true, but it seems impulsive acts are more common to succeed than planned incidents.
I can see the future! Moving on.
Jedi, like sand kivers, seem to sense trouble a few seconds before it happens. They are tricky little pests.
Are you the only one killing these Jedi?
Answer. No, Master. In addition to traps, mines, and orbital bombardment, Revan and the Sith often employed meatbag assassins for some Jedi skilled in the same techniques that I was trained in. Strangely enough, Revan believed that meatbags that did not use or believe in the Force were especially important, since in many respects, they were more difficult for Jedi to detect. Revan had many of them trained to hide their minds, as it were. Again, once these techniques were learned, the percentage of living Jedi began to decrease accordingly.
Atten. Hide their minds? How?
Answer. Generally, this was done by broadcasting strong emotions while thinking about something else.
Atten.
It was a curious technique, but it seemed to be effective in blinding Jedi. Whether guilt, lust, fear, they act as mental interference, making finding the true intentions of the broadcasting meatbag difficult.
How would that work exactly? Even though I know exactly how that works because Atten told me.
Answer. Obviously, a Force-sensitive broadcasting such emotions puts themselves at a risk of not using the Force properly, since to use it seems to require an inner calm that most meatbags do not possess. As much as the Jedi could not use such a technique, the Sith Lords cannot use it for much the same reasons. Such passions as guilt, lust, and fear are really strengths to the Sith code. Statement. The Master felt it was ironic that only people who had experienced such passions could harm Jedi in such a way that to kill Jedi, you had to be a human being. Revan found that quite amusing.
I don't blame him. In fact, Tyron, what do you reckon to this? As an idea. HK's dialogue right there just confirmed an idea I've had in my head for ever since I started this stream. What if the reason why Mitra was so trusted by Malak and especially Revan was because her techniques in dealing with the Mandalorians while she may not agree with some of their methods later in the war, her ways of dealing with the Mandalorians and the other Jedi under her, and the other Jedi, and especially Republic soldiers in her command, is because, and also a good reason why the Exile is arguably one of the best leaders in Star Wars history, stems from the fact, and also it's a really good explanation about why her Force bonds are so powerful. It's because the Exile is probably one of, if not the most human Jedi in the setting. She interacts with her troops not as a Jedi, but as a fellow living being. And that was why she was such a maverick to the Council. And why her ability to form bonds unconsciously is so powerful. Yeah, probably this Tyrant. And it's a good reason. And even though it's not truly confirmed in the game, I've always held the theory that the Exile is probably the most human Jedi, at least in the KOTOR setting. Yep, Tyrant. Yep. So, I'm gonna just canonize it if that's alright by you, that the main reason why the Exile's Force bonds are so powerful, and the reason why she is one of the better leaders in the KOTOR era, and probably in the Jedi Order as a whole, is because she is definitely one of, but arguably the most human Jedi that the setting's ever seen. And that also can relate to my character in the Star Wars D&D we've got as well, because I'm trying to create Elena as a more human Jedi than a diehard Jedi like her master is, or a Jedi who wants to seek power for his own sake, like her other master was. That is the main parallel between my character and the Exile. Both of them are more human in their approach to being a Jedi. But so you're saying, Revenant?
Observation. Master, that was...
Yep.
Observation.
Let's just say, and that's kind of the key distinction between Revan's leadership and the Exile's leadership, and probably more than likely when they both come back to the Republic, it's probably the reason why more people outside of Revan's influence are more likely to listen to the Exile, even though some of them probably won't. So I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of maybe the Republic as a whole doesn't believe either Revan or the Exile, but the people who are close to Revan and know what his mind are like believe him. But even if the new Jedi Council don't believe Revan, they will believe the Exile backing Revan's claim, since most of the Jedi who were in that new order were trained by her, and they trust her, and even the Jedi who weren't trained by her can feel her empathy. So certain members of the Republic, like Karth, will believe the story. The Mandalorians will believe the story more than likely because Canderous is their leader, and they follow Mandalore to the end. So the Mandalorians will believe them at that point. The Republicans hold maybe not, but at least certain members of the Republic, the Jedi Order thanks to the Exile, and the Mandalorians thanks to Canderous, will be preparing, but as the centuries go on, that belief dies down pretty much. We'll have to talk more about that at some point later in time.
Statement.
Anything else? That's everything. Ah, level up. I'll put 3 points into stealth, so then... In fact, I'll do this. And then I can just do whatever I want later on. No, I'll do that. Enlightenment powers complete. Now that I've sunk at least one skill point into stealth, I should be able to complete Krea's thing. Yep, I purposefully waited till I started the game to do conversations so I can cue Krea. Also, I just went off and, you know, save edited the last little bit of influence I needed with Krea to get the Revan conversation because I couldn't be asked to wait long. I kind of wanted to get all of Krea's dialogue done before Korriban. Just... yeah.
Yes? Have you come with questions?
I wanted to ask about the Force.
Very well. What is it that drives you?
I wanted to talk about the lesson related to my skills.
Have you done as I asked?
I have devoted myself to relying on not being seen.
Very well. Then know this. How some situations play out depend on who is perceiving them and whether they are being perceived. Your ability to control the perception of others in such situations will allow you to manipulate events to resolve them peacefully or violently. Skill does not always draw from the Force, but it is a measure of power nonetheless. It can grant knowledge, help steady oneself when one's thoughts are in chaos, or grant enlightenment. Much can be achieved without the Force, as you know. Life continues, persists, and may be helped or harmed as a result. Now I am tired. Leave me to my meditations.
Tyrant.
Yes? Have you come with questions?
I will do more Force stuff with her after this, but the first thing I want to do with her is, yes, I need some answers.
Ask, and I will answer.
Since I save edited, because I couldn't be asked to do this, did you know, Revan?
Perhaps. I think it is fair to say that few did.
Where did Revan come from?
Revan had a mother and father, parents, ancestors, like all Jedi do. And
Until
when he
Anakin.
awakened to his potential, I was there to see it. But where he was born, where he came from, I do not know, any more than I know where he walks now. Some said that Revan was born in the outer regions, beyond the Rim, and that's what called to him during the Mandalorian Wars. And after, it was the call of home.
Ah! There's our question for the day, Tyrant. How much of what Krea just said is bullcrap? How much of what she said is superstition? And the real question, does she actually know where Revan came from, and it's just purposefully not telling us? And that's also the question that we need to answer for Revan as well. Should we canonize where he actually came from, where he was actually born, where he actually came from before going to train? She didn't word it as such, but is that more of a deliberate act? Or is it something she's truly believing? I would probably say the former, but back for us to decide properly. Because that's probably something we should think about. Should we canonize where each of our major players were born? Or should we leave it as superstition? What else do you know, Rowan?
I know more, but it may not be enough for the answers you seek.
What caused Revan to fall? To turn on the Jedi and the Republic?
Fall? Ah, already you presume much. You were there at Malachor. Revan's choices were always his own. It was not teaching or circumstance or example, it was him.
If we want to... I think, yeah, we should know. The only question I have is for... And I've got an idea of where I want the exile to be from, because it kind of fits in with the lore we already have for her. As for Revan, there's a conversation you have with Bastila saying where he says that he was from Durala. The only question would be, is that going to be part of the lore we're cutting, saying that that was a home system that the Jedi planted in his mind for him to think where he's from? Or should we just canonize it and say that's where he's from? As for the exile, my plan is to have her actually be born on Dantooine. Unless you disagree. What made him turn to the dark side, though? Become a Sith Lord?
Is that what he was? Or was he always true to himself, no matter what personality he wore? And there is something that the Council may never understand, that perhaps Revan never fell. The difference between a fall and a sacrifice is sometimes difficult, but I feel that Revan
definitely
understood that difference more than anyone knew. The galaxy would have fallen if Revan had not gone to war. Perhaps he became the Dark Lord out of necessity, to prevent a greater evil. I do not believe the Jedi Council changed Revan, as they claimed. They merely stripped away the surface and allowed the true self to emerge again, someone who was willing to wage war to save others. But that is my belief, since I knew Revan from long ago, as a master knows their apprentice.
Oh, definitely I'll give you my reasoning later on when we get a chance, Tyrion. Just depends on when. If you don't get back till late, I'll probably have to wait till when I get a chance tomorrow. But I'll see if I'm awake enough to talk to you tonight. We'll see on timing. You trained him?
He came to me, yes. Both before and after. Before Revan knew himself. And after, in the times when Revan was coming to his own and learning he was more than he had been told. At one time, Revan was my Padawan, in times past, long ago. But Revan, when he had learned all he could, had other masters, that fool Jar and other Jedi on other planets. He learned from each. But in the end, he turned back to me. When he realized there was nothing more to be learned from the Jedi except how one could leave them forever.
What was Revan like as a student?
Revan was power. It was like staring into the heart of the Force. Even then you could see the Jedi he would slay etched on his soul.
And what do you see when you look at me?
You are different. When I look at you, it is like staring at the death of the Force.
Okay, next conversation.
Yes? Have you come with questions?
Teach me more about the Force.
Very well. What is it that drives you?
Before you taught me to listen, I wish to continue that lesson.
Very well. Sit with me.
This is probably my favourite Kreia moment.
You have brushed the surface thoughts of another. It is a start. Calm yourself. This time, silence your own thoughts. Keep them still. Imagine the waters of the Room of 1,000 Fountains, each stream suddenly falling silent and still. Imagine the ice of Telos, cold and smooth as it gathers upon the plateau. Now, stretch out. Feel the ship around you. Strip away the metal and see the souls and minds of those that fill its corridors with more thoughts and dreams and worries than can fill the space of this ship.
As my feet walk from the ashes of Qatar, I shall not fear, for in fear lies death, and...
If I up the Dubana gas levels in the carbine, that would be enough to punch a hole even in triple Durasteel. And we'll need weapons like that if the Republic discovers the camp on Duxon.
How could the Jedi leave the Republic? Was it because of the Civil War? Is it possible that they...
From the first movement, clearance. Strike, repeat, circle one's opponent, repeat, faster, quicker. If Father had been faster. If only Father had been faster.
This place is so quiet. Nothing like Nar Shaddaa. I don't even know why I'm here. Wonder how much the bounty on the Jedi is now. Don't understand how that Jedi keeps in shape like she does. She's barely changed from the holorecords. She just seems to be naturally beautiful.
Switch the face of the +1 -1 card. The totals are 9, 10. Switch the face of the +2 -2 card. The total is 8, 11. Switch.
Your command echoes still, General, and I obey, as I did at Malachor.
As my feet walk from the ashes of Qatar,
Switch the face of the +1
I shall
-1
not
card.
fear,
The totals are 9, 10.
for in
Switch
fear
the face of the +2
Your command
death.
-2
echoes
card.
still,
The
General,
total is 8,
and I
11.
obey,
Switch.
as I did at Malachor.
Sound in the background. Sounds familiar. What is it?
Not now. Focus on my voice.
Malachor.
Now do you hear me? Truly hear me?
I hear you. To feel the Force like this deeply, it's amazing. It's undescribable. It's incredible. How am I doing this?
You have taken the first steps on a much longer road, Exile.
What about the droids?
The droids cannot be read in such a way. As for the alien who served with you in the war, its thoughts are more difficult, requiring many translations in meaning. Often it is better to read their impulses and images than their spoken thoughts. That is why he is deaf to you. I have found his impulses are cold, like a dead weight. His thoughts are black.
But I did hear something from Vader.
Indeed. It is strange that I did not.
Maybe it's because I know him better. Because I've served with him before.
Perhaps. I would not put much weight on such things.
There was something wrong with Atton's Force, though. Something hard to describe.
Of course there was. It is because Atton was not playing Pazaak, yet he counts cards in his head. At times, he will list off engine sequencers, memorize the hyperspace routes on the other side of the galaxy, count the ticking in the power couplings, even though they are fixed. At other times, he will imagine certain base lusts, certain indignities. It may be Atton is far cleverer than he feigns to be. Or perhaps he is simply a fool.
Perhaps. I'll go and see him. I'd like to see how his game of Pazaak is going along. It's not my favorite. Just to clarify, that's not my favorite Kreia moment. My favorite Kreia moment is the cutscene with Nihilus and Scion. That's my favorite Kreia lesson.
Something up?
Atton, are you playing Pazaak in your head again?
Passes the time. It's better than listing off engine sequencers, memorizing hyperspace routes, or counting ticks in the power couplings.
But there are no ticks in the power coupling, so it's completely fixed.
Of course it's fixed. And that's why you should count the ticking in the power coupling, too.
Yeah, you're not making any sense, I'm afraid, buddy. Mind elaborating?
Why do I play Pazaak? Alright, I'll show you.
If it's a friendly game, why not? I only said I only played this game once, but this is the third time I'm playing it, but there's a reason why this game is the best one. Boom. I didn't have to use a single card.
Good match. Now, what are you thinking about right now?
Well, Pazaak, of course. The game, the art of it, the mental arithmetic involved, and the joy of winning.
Right. And that's why I play Pazaak in my head. Because if you don't, you've left the door open, and anyone could walk right in.
Well, I've got something to confess, Atten. Before I came to talk to you, I was meditating with Kreia, and I may have taken a glimpse inside your mind with her assistance. I'm sorry for doing that, but I was concerned about you.
Of course you did. You see, Jedi, light or dark, do it more often than you'd think. But I never heard one say they were sorry before. That's a new house rule.
I'm worried about you, Atten. Are you playing Pazaak in your head to hide what you're thinking? Are you okay?
No, I play Pazaak in my head. But while I'm doing that, it's a lot harder for someone to walk in.
Can you teach me to do what you're doing? Shielding your thoughts?
No. I can only teach you to play Pazaak. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Then in that case, I would like to play some more Pazaak with you. If that's okay.
Good. Now you understand. Alright, I'll deal then. If you're ever fighting someone who has the power over your mind, whether light or dark, play Pazaak. Start listing hyperspace routes, recite engine sequencers, and when they try to use their powers on you, suddenly it's not as easy as they thought. Because you'll be right here with me, playing Pazaak, where they can't reach you.
And I would like to use this moment right here, Tyron, as one of the key cruxes as in the relationship between Atten and the Exile. This is one of the key moments that actually sets up that romance in my head. Because without realizing it, the Exile feels comfortable around Atten as of this moment in time. She actually likes being with him. And the more she thinks about it, the more comfortable she feels. And it goes vice versa. Anyway, there's one more thing I want to do with Kreia before I deal with Canderous' stuff.
Yes? Have you come with questions?
Let's do some lightsaber combat.
That is something we will leave until we possess a lightsaber.
Never mind, I'll never be showing that off then. Right. Should I go ahead and get the Mandalorian clans gathered before I talk to Canderous Tyron? But I've already said, even though